Okie dokie, here we go again. 2 in 1 day, how lucky for me. Okay, so we're going over week 4 now. We haven't started week 3, but I want to be a little bit ahead of the game here. I'm so behind in every single other thing. So here we go. So week 4, we're going to get like deep. I think I used that too many times in my typing in the module, but we're going to get deep into the angiosperms, the flowering plants, which is kind of cool because that's all the plants we're going to be looking at from here on out. But it's kind of harrowing because there's a lot of stuff. I think I tried to be super like gentle. Don't be overwhelmed. It's overwhelming, but don't let it get to you. Don't be afraid. Because there's a lot of content here to better understand the angiosperms. So I'm hoping that you can't hear my children fighting in the background. I hope that that's the case. If I have to turn around and shout at them, I'll try to make the mic not listen and just cover up their throwing things at each other right now. So we start out with dichotomous keys. That has nothing to do with the angiosperms specifically, but it is something that we need to cover later on. By the end of the course, you guys are going to make a dichotomous key, and I haven't completely figured out all the details of that project yet, like if it's just 10 random plants or if it's 10 plants from the trees or whatever yet. But this is going to be practice. So I put down that it's practice, that word right there, because the first round is really straightforward. It's like, common household objects, maybe choose some house plants. If you wanted to like up the ante a little bit and just choose plants, that would probably be wonderful practice, but you don't have to. It's just to better understand the structure of a dichotomous key. So something to keep in mind is it doesn't mean like that moms do to their kids. It's like, I don't know, it feels like I'm making some kind of signs that I don't really understand the meaning of, but that's the sign for a couplet. It splits the groups into 2 groups every single couplet. So you split them like things with blonde hair and things without blonde hair, or taller than 6 feet and shorter than 6 feet tall. So you're always dividing whatever groups you have into two smaller subgroups. It's not as complicated as I may be making it sound right now. Anyway, I type up some words about it up here, and then there's a link with some better words about it, and then an example from a cute like science fair project. Instructions. How to make a dichotomous key. So this is a diagram right here, but it's not written in couplets, but this is a wonderful way to then approach a couplet. So doing one of those branching diagrams first, and then turning it into a couplet. Anyway, this is just whatever. I thought it was cute, and I was hoping it was helpful. And then we jump into the plant family tree, so definitely into the angiosperms here, and I made a soft chalk that made my eyes cross because it was kind of long. Actually, maybe it was this one. Maybe they both were. It was a lot of work this week. I hope you appreciate it and don't just go, what the hell did I do taking this class? Anyway, I can't do anything about that. And then here, it says like right here, just skim this because, I went over a lot of it in here. And this is sort of like the second review to look through this stuff and go, oh yeah, like as it kind of sifts and filters and find its spot in your brain, then you read through this and you realize, oh, I have some idea of what they're talking about. And you don't have to know all of what they're talking about because there's a lot of very detailed botany. I mean, when I do these soft checks, I'm trying to filter out so much. It's a lot that is not going in there from all the botany texts. But there's still a substantial amount of vocabulary that you are getting and kind of have to work with. So if you read through this and a lot of it is like, wait, I'm not really sure about that. You don't have to understand all of this thing right here, but just kind of skim it to be like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that, or I know that would be helpful. And then the floral formulas. Oops. So floral formulas are, I think they're nifty, but I'm like that. Like I'm crazy like that. The perianth 3 plus 3 means that you can't really tell the difference between the sepals and the petals, but there are 3 of each whorl. So that specific thing, whatever. So you get to learn about what floral formulas are. I think I typed all that up. And then what floral diagrams are. I think I have a little Wikipedia page for that. So here's how, here's a floral diagram. Oh, see, it's kind of pretty. And you're going to be doing these floral diagrams. So if you're not sure of the difference, sorry, as I scroll through here, between a stamen and a staminode, you might just click right here, where it takes you to another Wikipedia page that explains that a staminode is a stamen that doesn't have any reproductive capacity. There's probably better words for that. It's like been reduced to the point where it doesn't function anymore. Like roses and a lot of very hybridized and bred plants have these conditions. And I don't truly care right now if you can recognize the difference between a stamen and a staminode. So if you're not really sure, like pick one. I mean, honestly, these floral diagrams, it's showing you that like there's two different ways to draw all this stuff. Like this person has this format for a bract and this guy does like a bunch of different stuff. So the point of this is not for you to make a floral diagram perfectly. I mean, that would be great, you know, but for you to see flowers in a new way. That's the whole point. Okay. So if, you know, give it your best shot. Like I am no expert in floral diagrams and floral formulas. Absolutely not. But I find that by looking at a flower in such a way that I'm really trying to like dissect it and count the parts and really think about what each part is and whether something is fused or not, that it really does change the way that I see things. That is the intention of these exercises. It's not to make you cry and make you feel like you don't understand stuff, okay? And please know that if you get through the floral formulas and floral diagrams, I don't remember what I said as far as what you had to do. Oops, I guess I didn't. Oops, that was an oversight. It's right in there. But, you know, if you get through that being like, I don't have a clue, like, did I do this correctly? Please understand that you now know more about flowers than like 99% of the people that you see on the street, like at the grocery store or whatever, right? I mean, if you get through that, you already are seeing the world in a different way. So that's the point. I think I said that 800 times, sorry. I had a whole bunch of other stuff in here, but the module is getting kind of crazy, so I just stuck them all in here. So if you want to read more about the angiosperms, there's a lot out there. And then I kept this in here. It's also in our resources page because this I find to be incredibly helpful. It's a document made by one of Michael Simpson, my hero, Michael Simpson, the plant taxonomy systematics guy from San Diego State. I think it's San Diego State. Anyway, it's one of his students. And it's a really helpful guide to understanding 50 different families of the angiosperms, some of which we do in this unit too. So going through that and tabbing that, bookmarking will be helpful. And then we do another soft chalk like in the angiosperms. So one of the first groups are the magnoliids. And then we get into the eudicots. Oh gosh, no, what did I say? Strike that. Jury, strike that from the record, please. We get into the monocots. We'll get into the eudicots later, but so the magnoliids and then the monocots, and we'll learn about what magnoliids and monocots are, and then some of the specific orders and family groups within the monocots. Okay, I think, is that it up there? Yep, okay. Oops, sorry. Then we are going to, I'm going to link the plant presentations for plants 36 to 50 on here. You're going to chat about these plants and what you know about them. So keep in mind that like this week, which is week 2, back in time, you know, just there was a little bit of a gap between when I expected to be able to post these and when I actually was able to post these, which will shorten each week. So these might be available for you like from Monday on. But if not, you still need to know these plants. So having your colleagues do the plant profiles and the plant presentations is a wonderful help and support for you to know the plants and to be keeping your own, your personal plant library of all these 200. Like you need to have like, I don't know, like flashcards or your own Google Docs. And truthfully, like it's not so important to me if you just cut and paste or just like copy it over. Like as long as you reference where you got it from, just as long as you have the 200 plants somewhere that you have access to and you can like, you know, look at them so that you're keeping track of these 50 plants on your own also with your own thing that you have access to and can get to, even if it's not your own work, it needs to be credited, but you still have that, all 200 of these plants by the end of the course. Because there's going to be little brief check-ins where I count and look and see. Okay, so hopefully there will be plant presentations in here and also links on the plant list for the plant profiles. And then the getting to know the plants where you guys chat about them and just kind of note each other's chats. And then our plant person of this week is Jimmy Williams, who's a local gardening superhero. and a couple different things to read about him. And you're always welcome to Google elsewhere to find other things about these folks. Oh, I think that was all that I wanted to say about that. Yep. Oh, and then, almost forgot, it's not published yet because it's only about halfway written at this point, the plant library quiz. So this is our first practicum. Like if this was like not a pandemic, we'd be doing this in person. And you would be looking at pieces of plants or plants outside and trying to identify them. As it is, I'm going to show you pictures, and then you have to choose. It's multiple choice. It seemed easiest. What the plant is from the 4 choices from the picture that I show you. You have to know the Latin name and the common name, so make sure that you do. And then, let's see, am I going to be able to get this done in less than 5 minutes? So what I want to do is read the plant names. It's 51 to 65 here. Let's see. Okay. Feijoa sewalliana. So Sellowiana. Feijoa sellowiana right there. Gardenia jasminoides. Grevillea noelii. Hibiscus rosa sinensis. Hibiscus syriacus, which is probably from Syria where we just bombed. Juniperus chinensis. No, it's hard to say that and just keep going as if it didn't really destroy people's lives and stuff. Anyway, Juniperus procumbens, Nana. Laurus nobilis, Lavatera maritima. This is a nice one. The mallows are so pretty. Leonotus, Leonaris. I love this plant. So wild. It has some really interesting ethnobotanical uses. You should look it up. Leptospermum scoparium. Ligustrum japonicum, Lauropetalum chinense, Malacothamnus fasciculatus, Malacothamnus fasciculatus. I think this is a native. Myrcene africana. I think that's it. Okay, I did it. I should get an award. My award is that we're done with the video. Okay, remember, message me if you have questions. Bye.